Good morning. Welcome back.
Or afternoon.
Or afternoon. Or midday. Or evening. Or whatever. We're at it again. We've got the end of those apples. Some we picked from my aunt. And some actually from our tree that were still in the root cellar. And today we are just going to preserve them. We're going to be making apple pie filling. Or Matt is, because he's doing all the work. I'm just talking to you.
Shocker.
Because we were having a little issue. These are starting to go bad in spots, and we do not want these apples to go to waste, especially since we saved the best to either store or make apple pie filling with. So, yeah, I can't wait to have this done. Get going.
Try it. I'm peeling all the apples, and the machine doesn't get it sometimes if it skips off and it has to restart. So it leaves a little bit of the skin. So I just take a knife and I just trim it off, and I put it in the lemon water so they don't brown. And then this part goes to the pigs. That's it.
So the apple pie filling recipe we're using is from the Complete Book of Home Preserving. Love this book. My sister-in-law I saw had the ring bound version, and I was like, oh, that is really appealing. Something maybe I'll have to get in the future, because I just have such a mess of stuff in here and trying to keep track of where I'm at. But I'm so excited to make this apple pie filling. So I'm going to be adding some sugar to a pot while Matt's finishing up peeling those apples. So we ended up not making this apple pie filling right after we made our applesauce because I was missing this ingredient, clear gel, which I've never actually used before. But basically this is a thickener. I think it even says somewhere on here. But this is a thickener, modified cornstarch, specific for canning. So you can't just thicken and can with any old thing. But if you want, you can make this pie filling without this and then thicken it when you're going to make your pie or your dessert or whatever you're going to make. But I really wanted to try this. So I just ordered this online, and I've been using this brand, like powdered milk, which for pancakes and things when I need more milk than I keep on hand. So I think it's going to work. Cinnamon, nutmeg, alright, adding some water. Alright, the next ingredient is apple juice, and I wasn't really sure what to use because it said unsweetened apple juice, and I couldn't find anything that didn't have sugar listed, and then I realized, oh, it's probably from the apples that they have it listed. So this one had apple juice, water, and then like a couple things for preservatives. So that was the best, cleanest I could find. I'm sure you could probably find a cleaner apple juice, but you know, this is what I got.
So this process, we're blanching the apples. And all you do is have boiling hot water, and you put the apples in there for 1 minute. And then you take them out, and then you wait until it's boiling again really good, and then you do it all over again and keep going. And I'm doing 2 cups at a time, and that's about the limit. And then you put the lid back on here to hold the apples warm in here. Put the lid back on here, and it's already starting to bubble, so it'll start bubbling really rapidly soon here.
What'd you do, Matt? What did you not do, Matt?
Really? I didn't count the cups. I didn't know I was supposed to. I'm trying to get everything else going around here. Too many things going at once. So yes, I didn't count the cups. So how many do we have now, Sarah?
8 cups.
Good job.
So now you got to count from here on out. You got that?
I think the rest of this will be exactly
I think it'll be
12.
exactly 12 cups, which is 1 batch. So that's awesome. All right, I'm getting the canner going. This recipe is a water bath recipe for pints, so I've got those in there. All right, so this recipe is for 25 minutes water bath. So I just turn that on here, set the time. We're at a higher elevation, so typically with canning, you have to add an extra 5 minutes. And I love that my Presto electric digital canner, I do not. So I'm heating this liquid up and it smells so good. So I was playing around with what to stir this with, and a whisk really does seem to be working the best because it's not clumping, but it's really thickening up. It just looks like pie. So it said it'll start bubbling, and then I'm gonna add some lemon juice. Stir and get it back to a boil. Oh, this looks so good, Matt.
Looks like caramel.
I know. I think I'm gonna make this just as like a dessert topping from now on. That was so easy. So I'm adding the apples. Matt and I totally slipped our mind to cut these down. So I did come back and cut some of them. But honestly, I'm not too worried about it because as long as they fit in the jar, I don't think it's gonna be much of a problem. It's more of if they fit, how it looks, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm just making sure I don't get a bunch of the water that might have accidentally got in with these in here. Get all these apples in the pot. And it ended up that those 2 dozen apples or so were about exactly 12 cups. Now we did have quite a few we had to toss or cut down, so that might be why. So we're gonna fold these in, or attempt to. I was just mentioning to Matt that it was so easy to make that gel. I can totally see doing that for a quick pie. And not just apple, it was so easy. I could have done it with any other juice, you know, and things. Berries, yeah, berry juice. I can see, you know, like Danish, one of my favorite things. This would be really easy to do for that. How's it look?
Looks like goo, smells like apple pie.
Alright, so I put it back on the stove top and I'm going to heat it up. It says until the center of the apples are warm. Now, this goo and the apples we kept warm, so they're fairly warm already, so I don't think I'm going to need to heat it too much. But just like anything, you want to make sure you're putting hot things in hot jars, and then you won't have broken jars. I think we broke a total of, I broke a total of 3 jars this year, and not one was in our electric canner, so that says a lot about just it maintaining, keeping the jars warm, because all the other things were definitely user error on my end. The jars weren't warm, or the stuff I put into them wasn't warm enough. Got one that I think is going to have to go in our fridge since it didn't have good headspace, but that's all right. Shucks, right? All right, this is super full. So we were just talking about how we noticed with the electric canner, you almost always have to keep your headspace like exactly 1 inch. So this is 1.25 inches, and what I noticed is sometimes water will almost leak out when it's doing that. So I'm going to take some of this water out. So we're around 1 inch. All right, it's just about 1 inch. And start. You can see Gracie back there. Apple pie filling's done. It looks pretty darn good. I'm excited to eat it. Eli is too.